Does this work? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. How was lunch? Was it good? That's so. Okay, before we start, I need to give a verbal disclaimer because I actually was informed that I was doing the keynote at this conference yesterday night at 12 o'clock. So I'm actually replacing my colleague. Doesn't make me less excited though. I'm super excited to be here. I want to share a bit about our journey. I want to share a bit about what we do. And I'm also happy to say that we're actually selling a lot of your brands as well. I think from a brand perspective, I think the lesson that I also want to learn from you and hopefully you can share also with me is what could we as e-commerce players actually, how could we help brands more? And so I actually also want to understand like where do you think are the pain points or the challenges? Because I always say when we talk to brands, it's always a discussion about we are an extension of you. At the end of the day, as a brand, you want to, I think, protect your brand reputation. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we want to sell more products. So today I want to talk about female commerce. Orami is a female e-commerce company. So if you compare it to, for instance, an Alibaba, they for sure very clearly say that we have any type of product for anyone who wants to spend money. So we try to find more of a niche where we say, okay, we would definitely want to have a really broad range of products, but all the products are focused on women. So this ranges from beauty products to mom and baby products to more lifestyle products, fashion accessories, curated electronics. So it's a diverse range of categories, but all catered around women. So let's get it going. I hope everyone is still awake. Usually 3 o'clock is a dangerous time. We all know it. The after lunch dip usually attacks you from behind. So hopefully everyone will stay awake and keep it a bit interactive. So let's get it going. So I want to share a bit about our road to female commerce domination. Before I do that, there is one slide I want to share with you, which is kind of justifying. It justifies why I say that I kind of understand how females and how young families actually shop, what their needs are. So quick intro about me. I think it's always good to kind of see perspective of the person who's doing keynote. So this is my beautiful family. I have 2 young boys. I've changed a lot of diapers, so I know your products very well, maybe too well, but I think it's always good as a dad to also change a lot of diapers. A bit of background of what I've did, but most important thing that you should remember actually of all these bullets is that I've been in the e-commerce industry for the last 7 years, building several industries, several businesses in different type of categories and markets. And recently, in the last 2 years, I've been digging very deep in the female e-commerce market. So today I want to share a bit about our journey, how we launched our business, and at this moment we're active in both Thailand and in Indonesia, and we'll be expanding towards the third country, Q1 2017. So we're evolving and growing. And definitely we need the help of brands like you to build actually the trust with our customers. Because at the end of the day, e-commerce, I see it like this, right? E-commerce is like a wave. It's like a wave that is coming. A wave. We see this wave coming. And I talk a lot with the brands. I talk a lot with the brands, and the brands usually say, okay, but then if you start selling our product, then you kind of like eat our market, you cannibalize our market, and our pricing, we need to control pricing. I all understand that, but that wave that is coming, and nothing is going to stop that wave. And that wave is the e-commerce wave. So I always say, if the wave is coming, instead of trying to stop the wave, we better learn to surf, right? We better learn to surf and actually ride the wave, which at the end of the day is going to be beneficial for the brand, it's going to be beneficial for the sales, it's going to be beneficial for your customers. So this is definitely something that hopefully after these 20 minutes we kind of agree on, and hopefully we'll have a good discussion about it as well. So why women, right? I think a lot of you, you know why women, but just to give a bit of a background story, why we chose to focus on women and young families and moms and babies. At the end of the day, I think all the women would agree with me, I hope, that we believe that women, at the end of the day, are the boss of each family. Who agrees? No one agrees. Kimberly Clark, no one agrees. Something is not right. But for sure, women are the decision makers of the household budget. And it goes to that extreme where even, because just a big story, I just moved back from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam. Any people from the Netherlands here? We should talk later. Wait, what's up with that? Okay, but I just moved from Amsterdam to Jakarta. And the thing which strike me, right, is that I see a lot of my friends and family, or not, it happens that actually the husband and wife are working, both are working, but the salary of the husband is actually being transferred to the account of the wife. Yeah, that was my first reaction as well. So I was like, what? Is this real? But these are my generation, like the 35 up. So I was quite shocked. But I think that kind of is the fundament when I look in the region of the influence of women. So massive market and a lot of decision power, which is with women, right? So if we look at the different product categories, from FMCG to beauty or furniture, even cars, a car, 60 to 70% of the car's choice is actually determined by the wife. So that's a nice one. So if you would say, okay, guys, what kind of car do you like to ride, or what kind of car would you want to buy? Of course, all of them say, I want to have like cool sports car. There is a reason why, if you look at the highway now, the highway does not look like this. There's a reason why this actually is the top selling car in Indonesia. This is like a family car. Its price is good. It fits like 2, maybe 3 kids, maybe even 4 if you just keep on pushing. But I think there's a bit of reason, and it kind of shows also that the influence of women even on the cars purchases. I love to share this line here because it drills down to the essence of. Is that for me? Was that for me or no? Oh, okay, no, that's fine. So a happy wife makes a happy life. So I ask you, have you ever heard of a happy husband makes a happy life? No, it does not exist, right? So bottom line, female e-commerce, women are important. Women have a lot of influence. Then if you talk about how do women shop, right? And how do we as e-commerce players, how do we anticipate? How do we anticipate on that behavior? So this is a graph. I love this graph. I love this drawing. The blue line is the male. The male has an assignment to actually buy a pair of pants. So he goes into the store, he sees the pants, buys the pants, goes out. The red line, female. I don't know if any females here recognize this behavior. Anyone? No again. So I think you're lying, or I don't know. Okay, maybe you just don't want to say it's also fine. But this is based on some research that has been done, right, on just shopping behaviors of women versus men. So even because a lot of the retail principles actually also apply to the digital world, right? So even how we build our website, what type of features we launch, we actually take these things into account. So we try to make this experience for women, because if we say, we want to sell diapers, or we want to sell wet tissues, what would this red line be in our shop, right? In our website. So I think fundamentally we need to understand, because I think we all agree that women are the deciding factor, driving factor of the household budget. Then the question is, how do we make it as attractive and aspiring or inspirational for women to shop on the web? So, quick one, shopping. It should be. It's like missing a G. But for women, shopping is an interpersonal experience which goes beyond the search for products. I love it. Very emotional, very spiritual almost. For men, they want to buy it and leave because there are better things to do. So if we look at e-commerce and we look also, so if we look at our Our team, like for 70%, consists of women. Our customers, for 70+%, consists of women. And this sense of emotional shopping and I think the hormones that actually, how do you call it, run through the body, which really makes women happy, is something that, of course, online also needs to be replicated. That environment needs to be replicated as well. Because if we would make it for men, for example, I mean, this is like depressing, right? So there's even Instagram accounts which are about, I think it's called like Men Love Shopping. And you see all these depressed husbands and depressed men actually waiting for their wives to come out of the shopping. So brings us back to commerce in general, right? And I think this is the one which is important for you as well, because we talked a bit about the female demographics and what the role is. Now I want to ask you as a brand. You're already working with a lot of e-commerce players. At the end of the day, like I said, you want to sell your products. What is bottom line the most important KPI if you work with e-commerce channels? Is it pure sales, or are there other metrics that you look at? Anyone? You can win an iPad if you. Gross margin. Repeat purchase. Gross margin, repeat purchase. So usually in the chain, we do POs at, for example, Kimberly-Clark or whatever, FMCG. We take the goods, and of course, usually there are like sales projections, right? That we say, okay, in the coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, the quantity of Huggies that we're going to sell is going to be X, Y, Z. If we talk about, so I think gross margin and repeat purchase, I think is fundamental. Actually, what an e-commerce company actually, it's actually the lifeline of an e-commerce company. And I think nowadays there's a lot of air in the digital industry where there's big valuations and very big companies, but bottom line, these companies are not making any gross margin, and the retention rate is very small. So going to the retention part. So I think retention is an interesting one. We're doing a lot of collaborations with FMCG brands, where we do like crossover campaigns. It could be that the brand itself is using its own database. So they actually have a call center where they run through the whole call center, but then all the orders are placed on our website. Or we could set up specific tailor-made campaigns to drive and to expose the brands, for example, Huggies, more while driving more engagement with customers as well. So are there any other KPIs that you focus on? Like in general, if I look in the room here now. Share of requirements. Share of requirements, that's a good one. That's a good one. Is cross-sell also important for you? Cross-selling? So if, say, of all the portfolio brands that you have, that you say, okay, we must have this percentage of cross-sell. A diaper into a wipe. So more like bundled products, right? Yeah. So if you work now with any e-commerce players, is it actually a requirement that you set up as well when you start a partnership with an e-commerce company, that you say, okay, KPI-wise, I want to have more cross-sell. Gross margin should be X. Quantity of sales should be Y. Is it usually how would your ideal collaboration with an e-commerce channel would be? Any ideas or any comments? Sorry? Conversion rate. And then? Yeah. The last one. The share of shelf. Okay. So more like in the product mix. In the product mix, like what percentage your products are. Because we always have discussions internally on how we could help the brands better, how we could serve your customers better, and how we could reach your goals much better, right? So coming back to the website, so I don't want to make this into like a promotion of Orami, but yeah, this is what we do. So I want to just share a bit on how we, because I think retention is a really good angle where we say how could you get retention from a customer. So one of the things that we launched actually is a collections feature. Collection actually is something where, so we believe, so we know like women love to not per se shop for the blue jeans, but when they're on the way to buy the blue jeans, most probably they'll buy like other articles as well. So this is a feature that we recently launched, and we've seen quite good traction actually in as well, where people can actually make their own collections of products which are on our website, all designed, let's say, according to their taste. So it could be that you say, okay, my toner, my favorite toners are, you put down the 10 different products which you actually like, and then on the web actually people could follow each other. So it could actually be that you inspire someone else to buy a specific toner. So this is one of the features that we launched to actually drive this inspirational type of shopping, and eventually get much more retention in the process. Inspiration is actually the part where we see nowadays that content, commerce, and community, so the 3 C's, content, commerce, and community, go hand in hand. We believe strongly that it goes hand in hand. So we also launched a magazine part where we now actually are crossing content with products. So we started like writing articles for specific brands. These could be product reviews, where within the content, which is then written by it could be an influencer. We've been doing a lot of things with online influencers like Instagram heroes, mothers with children, who, for example, tried a new diaper brand. And we see a lot of transactions and a lot of retention actually coming from that. Why? Actually, it's because that the person who's saying it, who's sharing it, is actually an authority within in this specific case in the mother's category. So it's been a very interesting feature actually, and we see a lot of retention coming from that part. So snapshot here on the women influence also online. So if we this is actually just a quick one to see that even for the big IPO companies or like Groupon or Zynga or even Facebook, women are actually the leading customer group. Even for Zynga, which is your online gaming company, you always get very annoying invites to play like Farmville and that type of stuff. 60% are still women. Groupon buy side, 77% women. And for social, I mean that's even more clear that the women are the ones who are doing most of the social activity and most of the likes, most of the shares on social media. So even all these things, we try to combine it actually in our platform. So just to wrap up a bit on where we stand on the mobile commerce and the female commerce, is that mobile commerce is actually one of the key ways to reach our customers. So with that female in mind, the question is always, how do we reach that female, and how can we, because before you talk about gross margin, before you talk about retention, how could we actually build this authority? How could we build this authority, build this relation in the community? Because I think like sales and commerce is actually an output of a relationship that we have with our customers. Where the brands, I think what we try to be, of course, as an extension of the brand, we try to be the touch point with the customer, right? So even if we look in our database, it's always something that we try to give to our brands, and we discuss how actually they could leverage our database. So for instance, if we talk about mobile first, for example, it's even possible to go into that detail where you say, okay, what type of products would convert better on mobile than on desktop? Or if we want to do a specific campaign on a specific age demographic or even a specific area, it's also something that we can do. So in the discussion with the brands, we try to give them the tools actually they need to have a better penetration into that market segment. Well, mobile advertisement is also something which nowadays there's a lot of it, right? There's a lot of distraction on mobile. There's a lot of distraction on mobile, and how we actually, as an e-commerce company, try to curate that is actually doing none, and trying to be really focused and being really relevant to our customers. So even in this example where I say, okay, there's a specific client segment which lives in Papua, where we want to launch a new product, we can actually make it laser focused so that any type of ad campaign that they would see would be relevant to their needs. And then the last part, which comes down to actually the little map in the store, shopping experience. When we developed Orami, the UX and UI, like how the customers actually how they surf actually through the website. We've done a lot of key focus groups with our customers to actually understand much better, like how could customers that are on the website, how could they be inspired, how could they be triggered to buy new type of brands or products. With that info, we of course go to the brands as well, and we discuss, okay, maybe Huggies has a new type of product launch which is coming soon. How could we actually, how could we get this customer who's actually maybe using a different type of diaper or different type of wet tissue, how could we actually at least inspire him or suggest a different type of brand in that basket? So I think those 3 points have been key in our development, and for sure, like if we now talk to the brands, we really try to make these 3 tools as a tool actually for the brand to get a deeper penetration and grip actually on the customers. So, if you want to conquer the e-commerce industry, we believe that you need to have women on your side. We believe that women are the rocket fuel of e-commerce, and I really hope, there's always a lot of learning to do from both e-commerce side and brand side. I mean, we want to learn from you, right? At the end of the day, we want to be added value. We want to be more added value for you. So I really hope that maybe after this session, we can have a talk with some of you and discuss how we could strengthen our relationship and actually build a better sustainable business for the women. Because at the end of the day, it's actually all about customers. Without customers, we're nowhere. So I hope you have some insight about how we as Orami, how we went through the journey, why we want to focus on women, how we do it. And I would love to have more discussion on how we could actually support the big brands with your sales goals, with your gross margin goals, with your category mix goals. Because at the end of the day, this wave is coming. This wave is coming. We better learn to surf, because else it's going to be a tough swim in the ocean, I think. So without further ado, I think that's my session. I hope everyone is still awake, so that's good. Thank you very much for your time. And if there's any question, let's have a chat afterwards.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, the clicker.